Ois hey. Ubeis bechines avis elu. These two levels of love. We learned about the level of achoisi, a gentle, natural love from the level of chokhmah. And then you have the more fiery love, which is a love which is created, the level of kala, that comes from bina, from the level of bina libo. So be these two loves, ugam kein mashe kosu bal posig bosi legani chulu, is also what is written on the verse bosi legani meinyan hahefresh shebein bechinas reim ledoidim, the difference between reim and doidim. They call the Knesset Yisrael, sometimes are called friends, and also doidim means beloved. Friends of the Eibishter and beloved to the Eibishter. What's the difference between the reim and doidim? Explains in the Mamer Bosi Legani. Shebechinas reim, friends is heim deloim misparshim. The level of reim means that they never separate. They're friends, they are for always together. Sha'ahavosam timidis, that their love is constant. That's why it does not apply there a sparkling fire and a thirst. And this is the level of Mishe Torosum Umnosum Chulu. Torah is their craft. That's the level of Torah, that level of constant, the level of Torah, as opposed to the level of Tefillah. That's the level of V'doidim. Doidim, the beloved, who sha'avosom liprokim ve'itim mizumonim, that their love is only sometimes and unprepared times. It's liprokim, it's occasional. When is that? At the time that he arouses the love, such as during the time of davening or similar. That's why in that love it applies thirst and the element of fire, because it's occasional and therefore you get fired up. It's not a constant. That's the level of tefillah, as opposed to teros mumnos, level of Torah, which is all the time. So that's why it comes out well that that through the level of Achoisi, since that's a continuous, that's the level of Achoisi Rayosi, as I said before. Achoisi and Rayosi and Reim is the same thing. So through the level of Achoisi, because it's the level of Chochmo, Terosum Nosu, your Mamshich, made your Mamshich from a higher level, as we'll say before, from the level of Keser, from the Ein Sof. V'ayim bezoyer vayikro davkuf yud beis omadalov al posik achoisi, ubezoyer parshas emer davkuf amid beis. V'ayim ashakos al posik shir hashirim, be'inyan shchinto ilo u'shchinto tato, the two levels of shchinto, the divine, the upper and the lower, which coincide with the level of doidim and reim and doidim. Also we can say possibly that beis avos elu nimshochim mi beis bechinas das, they come from the two levels of das. Ki das elyon, this upper level of das, that is miyached u'mechaber chochma u'bina, that unites and connects Chochmah and Bina. Lochein al yidei zeh nimshach avad b'chinas achoisi shim b'chinas chochma. That's why through that connection of the Das Elyoin, you get the level of achoisi, which comes from the level of chochma. We see chochma is called achoisi. So that is Das Elyon. The Das Tachten and the lower level of Das, that is Mechaber Mamshich, that connects and draws the Hispashtus HaSeichel B'Midas, the expansion of the Seichel into the Midas. Mizeh Nimshach B'chinas Abba Beis. From this comes the second love, the B'chinas Kol Sanav Shechulut level, my soul expires. That's the lower level. V'chein Pirush HaRamaz B'rayim Mehemne Pashas Shoftim Inyan Kirois Liboy. Kirois Liboy means the depth, the walls of the heart. So he says, this is how we explain the walls of the heart, because there's two ventricles, there are two holes, two parts. Shem koiches shebishnei chalalei halev. Those are the koiches of the two ventricles of the heart. As we said before, the ruach, one is filled with ruach, which goes up to the moichin, and the other one is with dam. Hem chesed gvura mishochem hadas. So those are the two chesed gvura come from das. Kumishkosim is a mokom achranal, as written elsewhere. So you have the two chalolim that comes from the level of das. He says chesed gvura. And then yes, ubchinas umka de liba. What is the depth of the hearts? Yesh leima sheshorshoi midas elyon. That is das elyon. So both of these levels, the kiris liba is chokhma chesed gvura. They come from das. But umka de liba, the depth of the heart, that comes from das elyon, which is the level of achoisi. Aro is batola. Shof Sa'aretz means the earth is subjugated. Das Elyon Shabenefesh, the biur of the Inyan Das Elyon Shabenefesh, the biur aposik Maim Rabim, La Yuchul Chavesab. And therefore, through these two levels, through these two levels of love, the connected to Chochma, the Aves Hativis, and the level of fired up from Bina, from this level, that brings down from Seviv to Malach. This is explained earlier in the Kel Deyas that it's really one. Yeah. Okay, so which means your mamshich, the Seviv and the Memale and the Keldeus, the Bittul Hayesh and the Bittul Mitzis, it all is really one. Koze, Vine Koze, Das Elyon, Das Tachten, Sheb Benefesh Elikis. This is Das Elyon, Das Tachten, as it is in the godly soul. Which means it's the Nefesh Elikis that has these two levels of Das. But we can say in addition simply, even only through the love that comes from the lower level of das of the nefesh alikis, still we arouse and we draw down above from the level of Das Elyon, which is level of Sevikul Almin. even when you don't have the level of Das Elyon in the Nefesh Elikis. You only has the level of Das Tachten of the Nefesh Elikis. You only have the level of Bitlayesh, and still you are able to be mamshir from the higher level, from the level of Sebev Kol Almi, Das Elyon. Hainu Lifi Sheba Yesh Gam Kain Nefesh Abahamis. Because by the person there is also the animal soul. Shigam Kain Nefesh Hamaskelis, which is also a soul that understands, that has seichel elo. But it is drawn after physicality, which is the klibas noigam. Aval nefesh halikis. So there is also nefesh habahamis there, but the nefesh habahamis is drawn after gashmis from klibas noigam. But the nefesh halikis, ikro hi nefesh hamaskeles. The main thing is, it is a soul that understands, and it's always reflecting, and it grasps in the Eirin Sobaruch. It has no other understanding, not klippas, not gashmis. It only understands and always connects with Elokus, with the Eirin Sof. ולכן, כל בחינת מהדעת של הנפש הלקיס. So when you compare even the das tachten from the nefesh halikis, you have to compare it to the das which is in the nefesh habahamis. So therefore, and all levels of das of the nefesh halikis. Nikra bevadai das elyon legabe hadas v'seichel ha'anushi hanemshach menefesh habahamis shabaodam. So for sure, that is called the supreme das, relative, measured next to the das seichel hanushi, the human intellect, which comes from the nefesh habahamis shabaodam shehi maskeles umasekes gashmis olam hazeh, which understands the gashmis of olam hazeh. Olam hazeh has a vav after the ayin, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. V'gam, so maskem v'gam olam hazeh, v'gam yichoylo lahaskil gam kein belakus. It also has the ability to understand godliness. The nefesh halikis only understands godliness, only in the Erisov, but the nefesh habahamis understands also physicality of this world, and it can also understand godliness. Nefesh habahamis kululo mitoy bara. And the nefesh habahamis is included from good and bad, which means it can understand gashmis klipas noiga, also understand elokus, also understand godliness. So therefore, it is still going to be the nefesh habahamis. Nefesh halikis is always going to be called das elyon, relative to the das from the nefesh habahamis, and therefore it's mamshir from the das elyon above. Perhaps this is the idea of Eitz HaChaim and Eitz HaDas Toivara. Eitz HaChaim is the Nefesh Halikis, and Eitz HaDas Toivara is the Nefesh HaBahamis, which has both. Eitz HaDas Toivara, Das of Toivara, Ubchinas Das the Nefesh HaBahamis. That's the level of Das Nefesh HaBahamis. Eitz HaChaim, who Das v'chochma, the Nefesh Halikis chut. So we can explain it that way. But these are the Eitz HaChaim, Eitz HaDas, the Das of the Nefesh Alikis, and the Das of the Nefesh HaBahamis, which is Tov Ra. So he says, Agam shebemokom achad nisbair, even though that elsewhere he explained Shagam benefesh alikis shaykh bechinas eitz hadas, that also in the godly soul there is applicable the eitz hadas. Now we're teaching that the nefesh alikis is the eitz hachayim, and it's only the nefesh habahamis with the eitz hadas, but elsewhere it's explained that also nefesh alikis applies eitz hadas. Mikol mokoim. The nefesh alikis cannot be called at all the eitz hadas of Tevera Gatzbet. Meshekosum bepardes berech eitz. Aval iker eitz hadas Tevera mamish. What is the main eitz hadas Tevera mamish? Good and bad. Actually, good and bad. That can only klipas nega. Shemishom nimshcha nefesh habahamis. That from there nefesh habahamis comes, but not the eight, not the nefesh alikis. Ba'ayim mizeh b'divra maschel b'rayim hemne parshas nosei b'maskilim yazhiruchu. Hinei kisha'od magbir hachabad shel nefesh alikis al haseichel shebenefesh habahamis, when the person overpowers and uses the chokhmah bin hadas of the godly soul over the intellect of the nefesh habahamis. How does he do so? That he deeply thinks in his intellect and his thought, when he's reflecting about the greatness of the blessed Ein Sof during saying of the Shema, reading the Shema and davening. Azay yizbatel das v'seichel ha-nefesh habahamis v'yiskalel b'das shel ha-nefesh halikis. So then the das and the intellect of nefesh habahamis is batel, and it's included in the das of nefesh halikis. V'azay, so once it's batel, gam hamidos, also the midos hanelotus maseichel hagashmi l'tayvus ha'olam hazeh, those emotional attractions that are deriven, they're born out of the physical seichel to the desires of this world, the tayvus of this world, yizbatlu, they will become nullified, negated, b'midos hanelotus in the emotions that are born out of the level of das of the godly soul, which is ledofka b'yizborech, to connect to him, blessed, b'dveika v'chasheka v'chafetza, with cleaving, yearning, and a desire, either b'bchinas achois, b'bchinas kala, either in a sister, like in the level of chokhmah, level of kala, level of bina, which is kol sonafshi. That happens through the hisboinenus in tefillah, in which you overpower the nefesh. The nefesh alikis overpowers the nefesh habahamis. Nimtzo. So it turns out, hatfilo shehibidur hanefesh habahamis, the davening, which is the sorting out of the nefesh habahamis, sorting it out and elevating goyrem bitl v'halos das tachton sheba'odam b'das elyon. That causes the subjugation and bringing up the lower level of das, the level of the nefesh habahamis, into the das elyon of shalakis. Shu b'chinas birur v'hischabrus eitz hadas b'eitz hachayim. That is the level of sorting out and the connection of the eitz hadas to the eitz hachayim. V'lochein al yidei zemeir rumamshich gam kein milmaylo. So that's why he also arouses, wakes up, and draws down from above. Hamshocha midas elyon hasoibev kol ha'almim, to draw down from the das elyon that surrounds the world, the das tachten umemala kol ha'almim, to the level das tachten mal kol. Shenikroim gam kein Eitz HaChaim Eitz Hadas Lepavim. They too, Toivev is sometimes called Eitz HaChaim, and Mamala is called Eitz Hadas, to bring down from the Eitz HaChaim into the Eitz Hadas. Ukagavna Isa, similar, it also says the Yetzer Toiv, the Yetzer Hora Shorsho Mibeis Chalalei Halev, the Zoh, that the Yetzer Toiv and Yetzer Hora are rooted in the two ventricles of the heart of Zoh. Zeir Ampin, the midos of Atzilus, they are rooted in the two levels of the heart, the ventricles in Zeir Ampin. Pirish Haramas Parshas Emer Daf Tzadik Gimel Hanal. However, V'zehu shekosuv lohibit oven b'Yaakov. Why is there lohibit oven Yaakov? B'kol kach lomo. Why is that? Because Hashem is with it. Which means that you're getting from the level of Avai Lekov. You're getting from the level of Das Elyon. Through the person drawing down godliness on his soul, which means that one's intellect and emotions of the animal soul, which are called Eitz Hadas Toivara, they should subjugate to the seichel and midas of the godly soul, which is called Eitz HaChaim. Now, in any form of bittul, hein sha bittul bebechinas achoisi, hein sha bittul bebechinas kala, whether it's in a level of achoisi, which is benachas, from the level of chokhmah, or it's in a level of kala, either way, al kol ponim, in either way, it's still a level of bittul. Al kol ponim hakol bittul nefesh abahamis v'yiskala lusa b'nefesh alakis. It's all the subjugation of the nefesh abahamis and included in the godly soul, which basically means the nefesh abahamis gam kein maskimim la'avazu, that also the intellect and the emotion of the animal soul, they agree for this love. That's why you arouse it from above the level of Das Elyon, which is Shalamaylo Beins the Das Elyon, Shalamaylo, the Das Elyon above, Bein Sof Baruch Hu, in the Ein Sof, Shugrinas Seviv Kula Almin. That's the level of Seviv Kula Almin. And therefore, from the level of Das Elyon, Seviv Kula Almin, what are the midos hanim shochim menu is not stam midos like in Zoh, but hein v'rav chesed. That's a lots of chesed, which is chesed de legav, the chesed from the inside. We had before is chesed is chesed of outside. That's the chesed of Atzilus of Zoh. This is the chesed of Seviv Kolamin. That's nimshach the rav chesed. That's the chesed from the inside. And because they're mamshich that there's no oven, Hashem doesn't see the Yaakov. Because the little bit of below wakes up a lot above, so we get a whole lot of lahibid of Yaakov, which is also the sefer shebein mechelik gimel, so parsha yud beis. That it says over there, so perikut beis, lochena karbones mechaprim, that the karbones are atoning because of all this, because of the higher level. And this is the idea of Levavtani Achisikalo. But the pasuk finally says Levavtani, and it says Ba'achas me'inoich and Be'echot kisim. So basically, there is both. There's Levavtani Be'echas me'inoich, one Be'achas and one Be'echot, the feminine and the Kri and the Ksiv. So we learn like this. Einayich That's the people, the eyes of the community who learn Torah as a crafts. They are on a level in which they gaze on the splendor of the king. So you have Einayich basically is the sages. But there's two levels how they gaze and how they look at the godliness. Number one is that they're in the level of subjugation of Chutato, which is bitul hayesh. In other words, they're an entity, but they're bottle. Shehu yesh rak shebatl mishtachave. He's an entity, but he feels himself as a metzias, but he subjugates himself. The Habez in the second level of Bechinas Achutei law that there's no metzias, she'ened muvadei mamish. There's nothing beside Hashem. Hu bitl amiti, and that's the true bitl. Behein beis bechinas, and these are the two levels of Avinu and Malkeinu. Avinu is the level father, which is the level of Bitl Amiti, Chudei Lo, there is nothing else as my father. Malkeinu is the level of Bitl Hayesh. V'zeu inyan be'echod u'be'achas, this is the two levels of be'echod u'be'achas, Chudei Lo, he bechinas be'echod kisiv. That's the echod, the masculine that is written, that's Chudei Lo, which is Olam HaMachshava She'yu Alma Diskasi. That's the world of thought, the world that is covered, hidden. The Yichud Tator, the lower level of Yichud, is Ba'achas Kri. That is a level that you read it Ba'achas. Olam Hadibur, this is the world of Almodi, is Galia. That's the world of revealed world. That's the Dibur in which it's from each one of these levels, you cause the level of Lavtan. Further, the pasuk says, "Be'echod anok mitzaveranayich." That's the necklace over the neck. Be'echod anok mitzaveranayich. So, what is the anok? That necklace is a tachlishit shalavonim toives umargolis. It's a jewelry of precious stones and pearls, shem doimim, which are inanimate, and yet ba'afal became iras v'nois l'skashtas b'hem. They're still shine and they're beautiful to adorn yourself. Bekach malchus peh toira shebal peh karin aloi. Also malchus, it's called malchus. It's called mouth peh. That's Torah Shebiksav Korinalo, or Torah Shebal Peh Korinalo. We call it the Torah that's in the mouth. What does it mean? Bechinas Oisios Hadibur. That is the level of Dibur. Shehem Bechinas Doimim. Words are the level of inanimate, as we say, Shtei Avonim Boinus. They're like stones. Two letters can build two houses each way that you place the letters. So while they're doing them, and yet they still in them is drawn down the light of the Ein Sof that Sefer Kulam. They're a necklace for your neck. They come from the light of above. That's why while they're doimim, but they're still infused with the shine of above. On the verse, your next is in the charuzim also, that necklace. What is the general meaning of the pasuk now? So first it says in the level of achoisi and kalo, that level of leiv, the both levels of love, During the davening, you have the level of Achoisi and the level of Kalo, the two levels of Av. Or it's in the level also the Einecho, which is the Toiros Mamonos, the Hailo Shua Bittel, that is the subjugation of all day, and that's the Chachamim. That's those Toiros Mamonos. Onok. So what is the level of Onok? So you have Tefillah and Torah as it is learned by the Einei Ha'eda, by the Chachamim that can devote the whole time to Torah. What about the Balabatim, those who learn only occasionally? That's the level of Onok. Ubechinas Onok, Ubechinas Oisis HaTorah Lebali Asokim. That necklace is the level of Torah for the people who are busy, occupied in their business. They're not able to be bittul all day, and then, therefore, even if they can only study one chapter in the morning and one chapter in the evening. That's So that's the way it's understood, these three levels. It's tefillah and Torah for the balei Toros and those who learn Torah all day, and for the people that can only learn occasionally, that's the level of honor. We can say further, a little bit different. Over there it says, unite my heart. It says, the pnimius halev hibechinas yichido shelamaylo gam Chabad. The inner of the heart is the level of yichido of the soul, which is even higher than Chabad. Vu inyan rotzon ha'elyon bechinas keser. That is the supreme level of keser. Over there it says the Iraiso Michochmo Nafkes. Torah comes from the level of Chochma. The Ochraiso is Miskashro Bekudsha Bricha. The Torah connects to Hashem. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu Nikra Tsur Levav. He's called the rock of my heart. So the Lev is connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu through the Torah. V'hainu. Because the inner of the heart is above the Chochma the Lev. Ainu b'chinas malchus ulamato me'achochma. Meshikosu b'zoyar parshas shlach davku samachal beis u'beparshas truma davku chavches beis. Hainu b'chinas chitzoni yisalev. That is the level of chitzoni yisalev. Pnimi yisalev is higher than chochma of the lev. V'gam noida da malchus shorsho b'keser. Also, that malchus is rooted in keser. And that's why we say, V'zehu inyan ayei mekoim kvedei. Kvedei, that's malchus, and we say ayei is the mekoim. Ayei is the level of keser. Ayei, where is? That's the level of keser. Ki ha-malchus nikro kovet. Malchus is called kovet. The honor. Why? Because Matir Lamed Beis. Kovet is 32. Lamed Beis Nesivas Chochma. That's the 32 passive Chochma. Shezo Gamkin Pirush Lev. That's also meaning of the heart. So the heart has the 32 levels of Chochma. Bezo Inyan Lamed Beis Shemes Elikim Shem Ma'aseh Bereishis. This is also the 32 times it says Elikim in the Chumash in the beginning of Bereishis. V'shorsham, and they're rooted mikoved ilah. They come from the higher level of koved, which is labed beis nesivas hachochma ilah. That's the 32 passive chochma lo k'meshikosuv bepardes erech lev. As in the pardes lev. So what does it mean? Aye is the place of kavod. That is where the root and the source of malchus is in keser, level of aye. That means aye where it's not understood because it's beyond, it's level of keser. This is the earliest thought that it entered his mind that he wants to be a king over the people. So this all ties in Chokhmah with Malchus, with the Lamed Beis, with the higher than Chokhmah level of Keser. And this is the idea of Malchus of all worlds, even of the world from Keser. Make one heart, this is called the Pnimis Alev. That's the machshava and the rotzen. That is machshava akduma, that he wants to be a melech. That's the pnimis alev. That's the pnimis alev. My heart is awake. That in Arich Ampin, in Keser, over there it says he doesn't sleep, which means his heart is awake. That's the leiv, that's the libior, that's the ayin. The atzmus itself is higher than the rotzen. This is the level of rotzen, all of machshove. But the atzmus is higher than that. Shebechinas hamshochas hakeser nikra l'maylo bitl rotzen. That when Keser is Nimshach comes, that's called Bitl Rotzen. It's Bitl Rotzen. Why? Because the Eibush is much higher. Shu Yisborich, Ram V'Nissim Rotzen Zeh. He's higher than this Rotzen. In that level of Atzmus, there's not even the level of Rotzen. What causes it is through the Eisek HaTorah. That's all in the Mamer before in Tzenorena. Bezeu Lebavtani, and this is Lebavtani. Sha'ato hu hagoyrem li she'eye b'bchinas slave. You caused me to be a slave. V'hainu al yidei sarusu de letato nachoisi kalo. Through the razablo of achoisi kalo, which we talked about before Chulu. The achois and the kalo. So that brings down the arus rusa de leilo beis b'chinas slave to love that keser elyon. Shu moker lisavus atzilus umalchus de atzilus. That's the source of creating atzilus and malchus atzilus. She yotzas kneged halev de zo. That goes out corresponding to the heart of Zoh. That's the chesed gevura of Zoh, the midas shemoker, this havas biyah. That becomes the source for creating biyah. And v'hainu, and that is b'chinas sev kalam and b'chinas mal kalam. That's the level of keser elyon, which comes to atzilus sev kalam, and mal kalam coming from atzilus to biyah. V'lochein nemer b'posik zeh levavtani beis pamim, two hearts. From Keser to Atzilus and from Atzilus to Biyah. So as the ponim leponim levon pirush, leiv ha'odom is arich ampin. Maima ponim leponim leiv ha'odom. The leiv, the heart of Odom, that's the two hearts. The first heart is arich ampin. That's leiv ha'odom arich ampin. Le'odom leiv le'odom zo. That's zo of Atzilus. And the base beginners leiv, now those are the two levels of the leiv of Keser and the leiv of Zoh. Ka malchus mekabeles ma leiv de Zoh, because malchus gets from the leiv de Zoh, and that goes down to biyah. V'ayim bezoyar betruma daf kuf memvov soif amud beis. V'ayim mashekosuv soif parshas Breishis b'divra maschil tzenoreno b'inyan u'b'yoyim simchas libay.